Good morning, guys. Sunday the 25th of October 2020. So I'm going to give you a little bit of an update around the allotment today. And the first one we've got for you is we've purchased 6 new birds. And they're in this section where the fantails used to be. And these are frill stencil pigeons. So I'll try and zoom in and give you a closer look at these birds. Now, as you can see, these are satinets and blondinets. Now, the satinets are a pied factor. They're basically all white with just the shielding and the tail being frill stencil. So I have them in a blue lace, brown lace, another brown lace. So these are satinets, and this is a blondinet. Now these are frill stencil right through the body, including the feet feathers. Now, as you can see, they're all very short beaked. They only have tiny wee beaks, and they're unable to feed their own youngsters. So when we breed from these, we'll have to get the fantails or some of the racing pigeons to rear the youngsters from them. I want to breed a small family of these. They were rather expensive, and I want to keep a small family of these. They're very, very pretty, and I want to keep them pure. And I'm also going to use some of the blondinet style cocks, which don't carry the pied factor, to cross in to the race birds. And they will lose the frill, the short beak and everything in the very first cross. So we have a blue lace here, a brown lace, satinet, blondinet cock, a black blondinet cock. And then we have another brown lace satinet and another black blondinet cock. So just the 6 birds. Now, I'm hoping they're matched pairs. The guy I bought these from is a very good friend of mine, and he has tried his best to make 3 pairs up. And but we don't have any females in the blondinets because he's in short supply of them himself. But you can cross the blondinets to the satinets, and you will get a percentage of blondinets and some of the satinets out. Or you might get a blondinet in the pied factor. But yeah, so I want to keep some of these pure, and the very first eggs that come off these birds will be getting kept pure. If it turns out we end up with more cocks than hens, then we might use a blondinet cock right away as a first cross to the race birds. So that's just a bit of a quick update in here, guys. That's one little thing that you'll notice. Right, guys, so with the money I've been making off the pigeons, this isn't a massive amount, but it's enabled me to treat myself to a new generator. And you can probably hear that running in the background, nice and sweet. Took a little while to set up and get the wheels on and one thing and another. The electric start and pull start. Nice bit of kit, relatively quiet for the size of the generator. Puts out about 3 kilowatts. And also, better still, it was a good price. So this particular model, it has got fantastic reviews, and the copper wound motors on these. This particular model is normally about 290 quid, but this is second hand in excellent condition, factory returned for whatever reason, refurbished, repaired, and put back out with a 2-year warranty. And I managed to get this, guys, for 150 quid. And I think you'll agree that that's quite a bargain. So I'm going to try to test it out with a kettle, and boil myself a kettle and make a cup of coffee, and then we'll catch up with you in the shed. See you in a minute, guys. Right, guys, I'm in the shed now, and I'm just having a cup of coffee that I've just boiled on the new kettle there. I'm rather annoyed. After seeing how delighted I was with the new generator, I boiled the kettle, and it boiled, no problem at all. It handled the kettle, the 3 kilowatt kettle, no problem whatsoever. Got the kettle boiled, made myself a cup of coffee, went out to turn off the generator, only to find it was absolutely pouring petrol out of the carburetor. And I mean, it was coming through the split where the gasket's supposed to be. There was petrol. At first I thought the little hose that comes down from the petrol tap wasn't quite on correct, and it was just a case of crimping it back on again and would be sorted out. However, it looks like either the casing of the carburetor is split, or the gasket sealing there, it's badly manufactured. And as a result of that, yes, it still runs, and yes, it still works. And it's a shame, because it's a real rugged piece of kit, and it's sweet motor on it and everything. So I've just messaged the Union Mart, who I bought it from, to ask them what they're going to do about it. Now, because Tony's a mechanic, he could probably replace the carburetor if they send me a new carburetor. I really don't want to have to take that thing apart, put it back in a box, and ship it back out to them at my cost as well. Excuse me. One, I'm really annoyed because I've really wanted a decent generator up here for I don't know how long. Something that will run a microwave, sensitive equipment, and boil a kettle, etc. Because I have a microwave up here I've been unable to use on my old generator because it has no AVR on it, automatic voltage regulator. So I thought, right, okay, I've sold the birds, I've just been putting the money by, and I thought I'm going to treat myself to a new generator. And yeah, really, really, really frustrated and annoyed for that one little niggle. Just wait and see what the seller says when they come back to me. Anyways, I'm going to enjoy this cup of coffee while it's hot. So I'll give you a little look around at the new birds that I got as well. 6 pigeons, 6 of the frill stencils. Really, really pretty birds them. I'm going to keep a little flock of those together as well. Quite a number of more pigeons have been sold. They've been going for next to nothing now. And I've just been in the sheds there feeding water and topping up all the corn bins, doing the usual chores, water bottles and all the rest of it. And having a look at some of those youngsters that I bred this year, and they're turning into really, really, really nice pigeons. Especially the ice split barless, and a couple of the almonds are turning out really, really, really nice birds. But they always do when they get through the molt. They all look absolutely brilliant and immaculate and all the rest of it. And I've been selling even the Cordovan Van Reeds for next to nothing. And then I got a guy came up, picked up, I think it was 6 last week. And he's had them a week, but it took him a week to message me on WhatsApp today and say, it's not fair you sold me 6 pigeons, which is absolute drivel, as everybody knows. How wealthy my birds are, how well they're looked after. I've sold over 60 pigeons now, and I've never ever had a complaint about sick pigeons. What's more, I've sold pigeons for the last 2 or 3 years, or even given them away, and it must amount to their hundreds. And I've never yet had anybody say to me, you've given me a sick pigeon. Because 1, I wouldn't do such a thing. 2, as I've already highlighted in other videos, I very, very rarely get a sick pigeon. And if I do, I spot it immediately. And if I have to use medicines, I will. And if it's not savable, then I'll put it out of its misery, basically. It's as simple as that. But I don't keep sick pigeons, and I certainly don't sell sick pigeons. So I've told him where to go in no certain terms. So another little bit of news. with the money that I got off the birds, I've ordered myself a lemon tree and an apple tree. Sorry, a lemon tree and an orange tree. 4 feet tall, already established plants. These ones are dwarf, and dwarf stock, and very nice they are too. But unfortunately, lemons and oranges can't really get down below 5 degrees Celsius. So I have brought them up here because we need them out of the house, quite large. And I'm going to have to do some sort of a makeshift protection around them inside the polytunnel, and then another makeshift protection around them to protect them. I've also got a grape vine on a grafted stalk arriving, and a pomegranate tree, small pomegranate tree. They're only produces small pomegranates, but I've got one of those on the way as well. The orange, lemon and lime that I ordered as the 3 plants, which I thought were dwarf stock at the time, turned out to be in little 9cm pots, but the full-size trays. You can dwarf it, of course, because they're grown really well on the windowsill in the house. And I would say they've probably put 6 inches on in height since they arrived. And I've just gone daft on plants again, and I've ordered another 3 bare root trees as well, so that they've been dwarfed as well, and they're already matured trees, so they should produce fruit next year. And I've got a Victoria plum, because I have 2 plum trees, but they haven't produced anything, and they've been in about 4 years now, probably due to neglect with me, I might add. So I've got a Victoria plum, another apple tree, and I think it's another pear tree. Purely and simply because it was a trio, was cheaper than buying them individually, and it wasn't much more than the price for one for the plum tree that I wanted. So we got the 3. So we've got quite a number of trees now for next year. But what I'm going to do is put them all into big pots, so they can be, and hopefully with the health improving, I'm going to be able to bring these out, even if I get Kenny to give me a hand, or Tony at some point. We bring them out in summer and put them outside in big pots, let them get full weather and everything. Then in winter, as October, October even approaches, we'll take them back into the greenhouse. And I'm thinking about double insulating that greenhouse as well, all in time to come, to protect particularly the peach, orange and lemon trees. All the rest can stay outside, like the plum, the pear and the apple, they can stay outside in big pots, and they should do fine, so they can stay out. So it's just the peach, nectarine, orange and lemon trees that I'll need to protect, and potentially the lime when it's big enough to come up here. So that's what I'm going to do in a minute. I'm going to have this cup of coffee. I'm going to go and get the trees out of the car and get them into the polytunnel. And I'll give you a quick look around in there, and then I'm going to have to make some form of a makeshift extra protection inside the polytunnel around at least the lemon and the orange tree. So I'll bring you along then, guys. Stay tuned. Right, guys, I've got myself 2 visitors. We've got our Ty, my grandson. Say hi. Hi. And then we've got Tony.
You all right?
Tony has very, very, very kindly brought me a man cave log burner, and that at a later date is going to be one of my other projects where we fit it into the garage, and we'll show you that. And more importantly, I've got some news. So 10 minutes ago you heard me ranting away, saying how annoyed I was with the new generator. I was delighted initially, and then it started pouring petrol out and everything. As I said, if they send me a new carburetor, Tony being a mechanic, I would ask him if he could repair it for me. Well, the good news is Tony paid me a visit and brought me a man cave stove, and he brought Ty along to see me as well. And I was telling him about the generator, and he had a quick look at it, and he says, should be repairable now. He says, I think they just haven't got the gasket in the carburetor, in the cup sealed correctly. Go and get me some tools and I'll have a look for you. So Julie came in, got the set of spanners and screwdrivers and everything that he needed, and he disassembled the air filter, took off the carburetor incomplete, and it turned out that the gasket hadn't been put into the cup ring correctly. It was protruding slightly, and it was nipped between the two halves of the carburetor, and as a consequence that is why the petrol was pouring out. So he reassembled that very carefully, tightened everything back up, reassembled it, and guess what? It runs like a dream, and we've got no leaks anymore. So yeah, I'm a happy chappy. What a cracking lad. He got that sorted, and he's turned my miserable day into a very positive and happy one. So yeah, we're just having a cup of coffee now, and then, as I say earlier, I was going to go out there and get the orange tree and the lemon tree out of the car and get them into the greenhouse and do a bit of makeshift cover for them. And if I get nothing else done today, then that'll be sufficient. But at least it's just a bit of an allotment update for you guys. I'll catch you later. Thanks for watching. Right guys, we'll give you a quick look in the polytunnel now. We've got a little bit sorted out. Tony and Ty have now gone home. So what we've done is we've brought all of these little nectarine, peach, cherry, pear trees into the polytunnel now. And we're just going to keep them in here until we get the other greenhouse finished. This is the little wood burning stove that Tony's just brought me, that he built himself. As you can see, cracking little bit of kit, little drawer in the bottom, little damper on the back here for opening and closing the damper for the drawer. I'm sure I can make much use of that in the garage at a later date. We'll give it a bit of a rub down with a wire brush, and we'll paint it up and everything. I'm a little bit out of breath because myself and Tony have just moved about 12 bags of feed out of the back of my car and put them into the shed. However, I just want to say I'm feeling really good today. I've got a lot of gunge up off my chest, and you'll hear all about that and more in the Champix videos, guys. Right, so the peppers they do seem to have took, and there are still flowers coming out. One that and there's a little bit droopy, but I think that was just a bit dry. These were a bit short of water because I didn't come up midweek, so I should have been watering them a little bit more regular. But they are actually taking hold, these. And what's more, I'm even seeing new flowers pop up on top of these. So it looks like we might be able to keep these going, guys. So here you'll see I have 3 more dwarf trees as well that I said about earlier that I bought. So here we have an apple. It's Braeburn Beirut. This one here is, I don't want to knock them flying. So that's the Victoria Plum, this nice thick one. And this one is Pear Conference, is the breed of it. So these are all on dwarf stock, these guys, as you can see. Little dwarf stocks. And they were a good price, them 3. So, and as I said, they're just going to go into really big tubs. And they're just going to stay outside them because they'll winter out okay once we get them planted in. These are me so this one here is me lemon tree, and as you can see how small, this is the dwarf stock here, and that's being grafted on there. And look at the size of this, guys. So these are 4 foot tall, these. But because it's a mature branch grafted onto a 2-year-old rootstock, potentially this plant could be 50 years old. It should produce full-size lemons next year. Assuming it survives, and this is the orange tree. Likewise, there's the dwarf stock, stops there. These are the passports for the plants as well, that obviously came from abroad. That's the actual dwarf stock there. Stops at that point, and that's grafted on. Very good grafts on these as well, guys. But as you can see, the plants are lovely and healthy. Really good company to deal with these. I think they're called U Garden, but I'll get you some definite details on that. But yes, all came from the same supplier, so U Garden, and they did look good on the internet. They actually looked slightly bushier than this, but obviously they took them at the best. But I'm pleased with what turned up, and the courier was extremely good with them as well. As you can see, there's no damage to these place plants at all. They've come in really good condition, and the dwarf stock. So we've got three trees there to plant in pots. These are going to stop in the 6.5 litre pots, and they'll be put in the greenhouse and protected. They're in here for now. I need to make some sort of a bit of a framing to try and drape some fleece over these, just to give them extra protection in here, guys, till I get the greenhouse finished and get a bubble wrap frame made for them. So I'm going to make a bubble wrap frame, a tall bubble wrap frame that I can put them inside of the greenhouse, and then I'm going to make it with like a roll down door, bubble wrap roll down door, and it'll probably be a fleece first round the frame, then bubble wrap, but a roll down door, so it can be lifted up for watering and things like that, guys. But it'll be a frame with inside the greenhouse, and there's really only these and the peach and nectarine that really shouldn't get below 5 degrees, to be honest with you. The rest of them is all pretty hardy and will survive. But yeah, so we're going to go and get some bamboos, get a bit of cutting, and get some fleece draped over these, just because the weather is turning now. And when I came in here this morning, it was only 7 degrees. So we don't want to get any lower than 5, and I'm assuming tonight it will get down. And what's more, we've had some horrendous rain and hailstones and gale force winds up here. It's actually subsided now, but you'll see how sodden the ground is. Just walking up the grass, you can see all the water come up to the surface, just walking across it. And it isn't like I've been going back and forward, back and forward, back and forward. That's just walking on the grass. It's just puddling up wherever I walk, because the ground is that sodden. It's through that much water down up here, guys. And likewise here, where we took the feed round into the store shed for the pigeon corn. Yeah, it's really swampy at the moment. So I'm going to get a bit of a frame knocked up round these, temporary, and get a bit of fleece over them, and then I'll give you a look when I've finished, guys. See you later. Bye. Just another quick look at the satinets, guys, outside. A bit more daylight, you can see them. Just very, very tame and placid birds these are as well. You can go and stand in the shed with them and they don't move. Really, really tame and placid. I've actually just dropped the bath in there as well, so they can take a bath, because they're still going through the molt. And this one here is just a late bred bird. It's got quite a lot of molting to do. It was a late hatched pigeon, the brown on the right. Right, guys, so we've got a bit of a makeshift going on here to try and protect these until I can get the greenhouse finished over there and get a proper frame made. So I did put the bamboos in, but they were a bit flimsy, and I really don't have time. With hindsight, I should have bought these after the greenhouse was finished, but we didn't. Too impatient. So what we've done is we've used the bamboos to give some support. And what I've done is I found a big polythene bag that I've managed to hang over the two, the orange and the lemon tree in particular. Peaches and nectarines can go down to -5, but these are not supposed to go below 5 degrees. I have actually obviously had to leave a little tiny bit of air to get under there, but that should basically protect from frost on the foliage and the trunk. And I have actually just draped a bit of fleece over here, because it's not really wide enough to do anything with. I'm going to have to buy some more fleece, and that's basically just put the trees inside there, and I can just pull that together like that and put a weight on the bottom, and that'll just help to protect those trees as well. So for now, guys, that's just going to have to do as a makeshift until we can get this greenhouse finished. And hopefully, I don't think we've been down below freezing yet. I don't know, I haven't actually checked to see whether it gets below 5 degrees in the polytunnel of a night either. And if it does, well, hey-ho, one of those things. If I've bought them too soon before we've got everything ready for them, then that's my fault, isn't it? hopefully we won't encounter any damage on the plants, and we will get finished over in the other greenhouse before any damage or harm comes to the plants. I'll catch you later, guys. Right guys, as a result of feeling a little bit better this weekend, yesterday was a bit of a slow day, and a strange one, as you'll find out in one of the other videos. But today I feel really good, and I've managed to get a bit more work done. So we've got what we did done anyways, and I've now come over to the greenhouse because the weather is now turning round, and we've now got all this side finished off now. So I had quite a bit of framework to put in here, guys, quite a number of runners to cut, and the battery was drained on me so it was stop start. So a little bit of a struggle, but thankfully we managed to get the very last little piece cut there, and it's 3x2, so it's quite thick, and the battery was dead, and I didn't have another battery with me at the moment. So you can see I've took both sides of the film off, and we've put this in slightly different, right? Because I didn't want to cut another tin and waste another full tin sheet. We decided we would invert the corrugated sheeting, the perspex, and we would bring it this way on and build the frame up, and then just use the little piece at the top there and a little piece there to cut in with a full 2-foot strip down there. So you've got your 4 plus your 2 is a 6. But this is completely sealed now, guys. It's not airtight, but it's sealed and it's strong. And as you can see, I can swing on this if I want to. So what my intentions are is because I've done it this way, what I'll do is I'll come across here and we'll put another little piece in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to staple a fleece down this back wall, staple a fleece or bubble wrap down this wall here, and likewise down here. We'll come out about here, we'll come out about that joist actually, yeah, and we'll staple a bubble wrap down, well, we'll staple bubble wrap right across there actually, and I'm going to basically make this frame this high, because these trees are 4 foot high, which brings us till about this, just under that. So, and I'm going to make a fleece stroke bubble wrap frame with a roll up front, or a 2 roll up front. I don't know yet. I'll just see how this goes. But basically I'm going to put all the more susceptible plants in that part there, and I'm also going to put some bubble wrap on the floor on top of this wood chip, just as a thermal insulator. And then we're going to sit them on the bubble wrap, or maybe put the bubble wrap down and get a couple of those big plastic trays that I've got the strawberries on, and then sit the plants in there so they can still be watered, but you don't water citrus trees much in winter, but just in case they do need a little drink. And then we can have this bubble wrap stroke fleece roll up front, or even opening doors. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet. But the thing is, year on year, they're going to need protected. So we might as well do it right and get this done and make a good substantial. It's really just the nectarines. I think there's 3. So there's 2 nectarines and a peach, the lemon tree and the orange tree. And all 5 of those should sit in the full length of that. And they'll just be protected over winter, and hopefully it'll stop them from getting frost damaged. So that's my intentions. We might even put a shelf in at a higher height here, and we might have that with some wire netting on, so we can put seed trays up there or something, or we might make a bit of shelving up here to put seed trays on. But yeah, we'll certainly utilise it, guys. And I might even just put the cherry and the pear and the other dwarf trees that I'm going to plant into big planters, and I'll just put them up here, but they don't need the same protection. They can just stand in here and be protected from the worst of the winter. But yeah, that's my intentions, guys. So I'm just going to pack my tools up. I've had enough today, and I'm going to make my way down home. So I'll catch you over in the shed for a very quick final roundup, and that's it for this weekend, guys. See you later. Right, guys, I'm back over in the shed. just having a cup of coffee. The generator's being put away and locked away, so I just used a little gas stove to make myself a cup of coffee. Really good news, Tony got that sorted. Beautiful, just what I wanted, and sweet as a nut, and everything's tickety-boo now. If the seller does get back in touch with me, I'll ask them to send me a carburetor or something, see if they'll send me one. No, I'll probably just tell them that Tony sorted it out. The only concern I have with that is that they might say I've invalidated the warranty because someone's repaired it. Anyways, guys, right. So, productive day. Not a massive amount, but yeah, quite a decent day. So we've got that side of the greenhouse sealed off now. Just got a door to make for that now, and then we can start doing the bubble wrap. I've ordered some bubble wrap, by the way. So I can start, and I need some more fleece. I'll have to order some of that. And I can start making the bubble wrap as a damp stopper, and then the fleece as a warmth protection. And we'll double layer it, so it'll be a bubble wrap, and then fleece internally, all round, and on the roof. And then, as I say, we can just plonk them all into that area, and then we can just roll down the front and put a weight on the floor or something to hold it down. And hopefully we just, and I'm going to throw, I've ordered a couple of thermometers as well. Yeah, thermometers, humidity and all the rest of it. And I'll just throw one of them inside with him, and what it does is it records the highest possible temperature of the day and the lowest, and you can reset it, and you can do that and monitor it on day. Excuse me, and we can sort of see what the lowest temperature is we get in there. And hopefully it'll be sufficient to protect the citrus trees. There are people grow them in the UK outside with just a little bit of bubble wrap wrapped around them, but that's down in the south of England, not up here in the north. We get some really, really bad weather up here. But there we go. We'll give it a whirl and see what happens, guys. If you're new to this channel, please do think about hitting the subscribe button, and then pop up and hit the little bell icon on the right, and that will alert you every time I put up a new video. If you like what you see and you want to see more projects on Alan's Allotment, as I said, do please to subscribe. I'm going to give a shout out to all my new subscribers, and I think I have a new lady who keeps a pigeon. I think she just has the one. I think it's Catherine, if my memory serves me right. But I will look in the notes down below and get my facts right. It's not good when you don't really know the name, but I'm sure they call the girl Catherine. So welcome to my channel, Catherine. Nice to have you on board along with everybody else. The numbers are going up quite nice on the subscription now, but there are still a lot of people watching my videos who aren't subscribing. So I really would appreciate you guys just hitting the subscribe button, bell icon on the right. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe to this channel. And if it keeps you entertained in some form or fashion, whether a good laugh at me or you learn something, then yeah, that's what it's all about, guys. So for now, stay safe, be practical, and keep yourselves out of harm's way. And we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys.